Have you ever wondered why a 10-minute online chat leaves you feeling more drained than a 2-hour face-to-face conversation used to? It's a strange, modern exhaustion. You haven't moved an inch, you haven't lifted anything heavy, yet your brain feels like it's just run a marathon in a dark room. Most people call this dating fatigue or digital burnout, but those labels are just surface level. The truth is much deeper. It's neuroscience. Your brain is currently trapped in a digital architecture specifically designed to exploit your biology. It's a mechanism known as variable ratio reinforcement. We've effectively rewired our nervous systems to prioritize instant gratification over actual human intimacy, and the result is a generation that is more connected than ever, yet feels more emotionally starving than any generation in history. Today, we're going to look under the hood of your own mind, break down the digital trap, and understand how to reclaim your focus in a world designed to steal it. To understand why we are so exhausted, we have to look at how we are being manipulated. Dating apps and social media algorithms are not social tools. They are designed using the exact same psychology as Las Vegas slot machines. Think about it. When you swipe or pull down to refresh, you don't know what's coming next. It could be a match, a like, or nothing at all. This unpredictability is the key. When you get that match, your brain releases a hit of dopamine. But here's the dark secret, that dopamine isn't for love, and it's not for connection. It's for the surprise. In the 1990s, human connection was linear. Effort led to waiting, which eventually led to a reward. It was a slow build. Today, connection is fragmented. Every notification provides what scientists call a micro hit. These hits are too small to satisfy you, but just strong enough to keep you hooked. You aren't actually looking for a partner anymore. Your brain is just pulling the digital lever, over and over, hoping for the next chemical spike. This constant spiking and crashing of dopamine is exactly why you feel so drained. You are chemically exhausted. There is another psychological force at play here called the Zeigarnik effect. This principle states that our brains remember unfinished or interrupted tasks much better than completed ones. In the analog world, waiting for a phone call or a letter was what we call an open loop. It created a healthy, slow-burning tension called anticipation. This anticipation was the glue of romance. It gave you time to think, to wonder, and to value the person on the other end. But today, instant replies have murdered that tension. We live in a world of instant loops. When the patience muscle in your brain atrophies, anxiety takes its place. This is why, if someone doesn't reply to your text within 10 minutes, your brain triggers a survival alert. You start to overanalyze the tone, the punctuation, the delay. You feel rejected not because of the person, but because your nervous system is trapped in a state of hyperarousal. You are overstimulated and underregulated, reacting to a screen as if it's a life or death situation. This brings us to a state called hyper-vigilance. We have trained ourselves to be digital detectives, analyzing last seen timestamps, checking if they viewed your story, or counting the minutes between blue ticks. This is actually a primitive survival mechanism. Your brain is scanning for threats in a digital void. But because there is no physical body to read, no eye contact to hold, and no tone of voice to hear, your brain has to work 10 times harder to fill in the blanks. This creates an immense cognitive load. Combined with this is the paradox of choice. In a small village 30 years ago, you had maybe 3 or 4 potential partners. Your brain could focus. Today, you have access to thousands. You might think more choice is better, but psychologically, it's a nightmare. When you have infinite choices, the brain becomes paralyzed. It can't commit because it's always wondering if the next swipe is 5% better. We are drowning in matches but starving for connection because we've traded depth for breadth. If you find yourself missing the old way, even if you're too young to fully remember it, that's not just nostalgia. It's your biology calling out for balance. If you grew up before the total dominance of the smartphone, you have a baseline of slow connection. You remember when boredom was a normal part of life. That boredom was actually a gift. It allowed your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for complex planning and emotional regulation, to develop focus and patience. Today's digital environment is a direct assault on that foundation. You're remembering a time when a person was a mystery to be solved over months, not a profile to be filtered in seconds. Your brain is demanding quality, but the system is only feeding you quantity. So, how do we fix this? How do we stop the drain? You aren't broken, and you don't need to delete every app and move to a cave. You just need to move from reaction to intentionality. First, implement batching. Stop being available every second of the day. Your brain wasn't built to be interrupted 150 times a day by vibrations in your pocket. Set specific windows, maybe 20 minutes in the afternoon and 20 in the evening to check your personal messages. This allows your nervous system to leave high alert mode and actually focus on your real life. Second, before you let a text message ruin your mood, or before you make a sudden emotional judgment about someone you've never met, wait 24 hours. This gap allows your brain to shift from the reactive amygdala to the reflective prefrontal cortex. It gives you back your power. Third, prioritize low-stakes realism. If you find a connection, move it away from the screen as quickly as possible. Whether it's a voice note, a video call, or a 5-minute coffee date. The longer you stay in the texting phase, the more your brain builds a fantasy image of that person. Usually, that image is impossible for any human to live up to. This reality gap is what leads to that crushing disappointment after a first date. Your brain is a masterpiece of evolution, seeking depth and meaning in a world that was designed for speed and profit. To find real intimacy again, you have to be brave enough to slow down. You have to be okay with the silence and the wait. If this scientific breakdown helped you understand your own mind a little better, subscribe to Psychology Prime. We explore the hidden patterns that drive our modern lives. Next time you pick up your phone to swipe, take a breath. Remember, your brain is looking for a dopamine hit, but your heart is looking for a human being. Don't let the algorithm win. Reclaim your time, reclaim your focus, and reclaim your connection.